Justin Tibbetts here, financial advisor with Jazz Wealth Managers. How you doing today? All is good? It's been a while, huh? Haven't seen you around. Anyways, I got a quick story to share and some data. How much should you save for retirement if you're like early 40s? You know what I mean? Like in this case, we're going to go with a 41-year-old. And where this comes from, I was out with a friend, and this friend is like, I don't know, I'm saving 15%. I'm like, why is it not 13%? Why is it not 11? How much do you make? And we started going through all these questions, and they're like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. That's the majority of 40-somethings. So we're going to dive into it today. We're going to use our planner here to show if this person is saving too much or not. Now, we're going to officially call this person Joe. It'll just be simple, Joe. And we'll say Joseph to be nice and, professional. Here's where they stand. He's 41 years old and wants to retire at 60. Preferably, he'd like to retire earlier. He's a married man. And he said, well, I'm not going to live to be that old. I would like the occasional drink or too much. And so he says, well, let's go with 25 years of retirement. Husband and wife, both same age, by the way, coincidentally. Now, they've already saved $330 between the various accounts that they have there. And we're just estimating they're getting about 7%. Actually, the wife was getting a little bit less returns. I pulled up their account while we were sitting out and about. I was like, what are you doing here? She's like, I don't know. My dad set that up for me. And I'm like, whoa, we're going to change this because you need better returns. So helped her out with that. Current salary between the two of them, added all up, comes to $268. And we put a real low expected increase in here because of how their life go. They don't always get the 3% raise there. Long story. And I said, okay, well, you're saving 15% of your income. So let's put that in there, 100% match, up to 5%. So I'm just running through this here real quick. They're not really saving any other dollars that I'm aware of. Now, I asked them how much they wanted in retirement. So, well, when you retire, like, what do you want to spend? And as a 40-something-year-old, myself included, I don't know. I had no freaking clue. So we just said, well, let's go with $100,000, right? Because you want to retire early. Maybe 60 is not going to work for you. Let's just start with 100 and see what happens there. So we did that. It's the only reason that number's there. We said, well, when you retire, you're going to have maybe lower returns because we're taking a little less risk, or we're focused more on, more stable income there. So let's just assume lower returns. Inflation, we're going with 3% for the rest of the year. And we feel like we underestimated this. This is, in this case, Social Security. If you go to ssa.gov, if you're in your 40s, you may or may not officially have enough credits yet. Depends on how much you've worked. But we said, you know what? We're going to go check and just see what we can do here. So I underestimated at $38,000, and we say, let's just start that at $63,000, and that'll go up with the cost of living there. So right off the bat, with only that information, we find out that the contribution to, in this case, their 401ks should only be 8.8%. They've been saving 15. Now, this is a good problem to have, right? So naturally, the fact that they've been oversaving their whole lives here has put them in a good position. But they want to spend money on other stuff. They want to start focusing on, and I thought this was so cool, they want to start focusing on building wealth. And so retirement's done. We're going to back down that contribution. We're going to do it in a tax-efficient way. Of course, we want to make sure they're not going to cause a higher tax bill. But now, because they ran through that exercise, a little tipsy, you're just sitting there hanging out with friends. They were, not me, because I was asking the questions. And the fact that they were able to loosen up and start spitting out numbers got us to a point where I could say, 15%, are you kidding me? You are saving too much. It needs to be 8.8%. Let's call it 9%. What does that do? By knowing that number, what does that do? Allows them to now take the extra dollars. They got good income there, right? Takes the extra dollars and let's start applying it to something else. In their case, they're interested in a little bit of real estate. It's kind of their long-term focus. So knowing the number is super huge. And if you're 41 years old or 40, somewhere in there, and you find that you've been contributing that kind of money to your retirement plans, first of all, congratulations. Second of all, you probably don't need to save that much. So I'll ask you in the comment section, how much do you contribute towards retirement? What percentage? And don't just hit me with a percentage. How did you come up with that number? How come it's not a couple percent higher or lower? That's the main question. As soon as I asked them that, I learned a lot. I saw their face change. They're like, I don't know why. It's just 15%. I saw their faces change and go, So this is what our buddy does for a living. He asks these questions and then he ends up running the numbers and gets down to the bottom of it. Oh, okay, I see what he's doing. He's not just hanging out all day. Ask yourself that. How much do I contribute? And how in the world do we come to that number, especially if you're in your 40s, man? All right, get after it.
Thanks for watching. If you want to learn more about Jazz Wealth and how we can help as fiduciary advisors, go to jazzwealth.com. If you want more educational content, be sure to check out our videos here.